Okay, we are live, and hopefully we've fixed the audio issues, guys. Sorry about that, but the last video I tried to do had some really choppy audio, and I'm hoping that we've been able to fix that here on this live stream, because live streaming is one of the things that we're hoping to do more of around here to get content up quickly and easily. Any word on the... Can you pull up the stream yet? Is it choppy?
It's just not.
Can you turn it up? See if it's choppy? Here, my son.
It is fine.
You can tell that it's fine?
Yep.
This is my son, 40G. He's got his own YouTube channel where he does his own video game stuff over there. Lots of Minecraft stuff in there. And he's watching the live stream to see if you guys leave any comments in the chat or whatever. Hopefully he can see them. But you're sure the audio is fine?
Yeah.
All right. Now pause it so it's not eating up all the bandwidth. All right, so today we're going to be talking about something funky that I ran into at Walmart the other day. I happened to just be in there shopping, as I do at Walmart, because I like a value. And I saw these DC Comics 3-packs. And let me switch over to the photo tent here, and you can see that they have 3 comics for $5. Now, the standard price of a DC comic nowadays is $2.99, so getting 3 of them is a value at $5. The question is, are they any good in these packs? And I ripped one open right away, so I've got them loose here already. But let me just take a second, get to some other stuff before we actually get to the comic here. You can see on the back there's this piece. It's almost like a comic backer board, piece of cardboard on the back. And it shows you the different packs that they have available. So they've got 2 different Batman listed ones. We've got the Suicide Squad Deadshot one that I have here, a Wonder Woman one I didn't grab, a Harley Quinn one didn't grab, but the Justice League, Superman, Flash, I mean, you can see them all back here on this stuff. So I believe this one's the actual Batman, and this one is actually Detective Comics, I think. Yes? No, this is Batman. That one's Detective Comics, I think. No, are those 2 different? Oh, wait, that's the Batman Rebirth special. This is the Batman 1. That's what it is. Okay. All right, so there's no Detective Comics in the bunch. But basically, you can see there, there is the artwork and revised character portraits, because the New 52 has pretty much died off, and everybody has gotten new costumes since then. And they've got this Harley Quinn stuck on the end because, you know, she was in the movie, and people like Harley Quinn for some unknown reason. So taking a look at the comics we have in here, I was kind of surprised because this comic didn't come out all that long ago. I want to say it was probably about 8 months ago. Suicide Squad's Most Wanted came out, Deadshot, and there was something about this book that I just knew it looked weird, but I couldn't quite place my finger on it. And then I realized it's because this was actually a 2-in-1. It was Deadshot and was it El Diablo? I don't know. There was another member of the Suicide Squad, and it's a double-sized book. And what they've done is they've cut half of the book from that double-sized and just give you one of the stories out of there. And so you've got just the Deadshot issue, or the Deadshot half of it, which is going to make it awkward if you decide you want to follow up, you want to read more, because it is to be continued here at the end. If you want to go up and find the rest of those books, you realize you're going to have to rebuy number 1 to get the second half of what was in that first issue. This is actually listed as the Suicide Squad Most Wanted Deadshot number 1 special edition, printed on September 1st, 2016. So you don't get the... Oh, Captain Boomerang. That's what it was. It was Deadshot and Captain Boomerang. Right. Okay, so you don't get the Captain Boomerang story. You're going to have to rebuy this in order to get it. But that wasn't the most intriguing thing about it. Because, I mean, if you look at all these, you can see that these covers have been redone as a kind of newsstand type, but with no price on them. So they're specially printed with the number, but no price. So you know they're part of this 3-pack. That'll be a way to give it away in the future. But what was most surprising is that the other 2 comics in this pack were not new. They weren't even close. Injustice, Gods Among Us, Year 3. I mean, and 2014 was when this was printed. It came out February, which it says February on the inside of the book, which means it actually probably came out in like December of 2014. And then this Future's End Suicide Squad 2D version. And amazingly, these are both direct sales. These are not newsstand copies. So these were books that went to comic book shops, and then it looks like they were returned, or they were overprinted and sitting at the distributor and never made it out to stores. So they just decided to pack them up. Now, I guess if you got Suicide Squad, then you're fine getting another Suicide Squad book, and it's a special, and it doesn't matter, and it's got Deadshot in it, so it's something. But Injustice, Gods Among Us, with Swamp Thing and John Constantine on the cover, really not a similar tie-in. What's the question?
Luke Lenjic says, I stopped following comics a while ago. How did the entire Godspeed story resolve?
Okay, so you want to know how the Godspeed story resolved. It technically hasn't fully resolved, but basically you found out that his buddy, who was another police officer who got the force, Speed Force powers, was the one who actually turned into Godspeed. And he was actually working as the villain, killing other villains from the Rogues Gallery, and then also pretending to be Barry's friend as the hero. And he was absorbing their version of the Speed Force power. So everybody had the Speed Force power. It was broken up, and they were like weaker and weaker and weaker as the Speed Force spread out. So he was killing them and absorbing those powers to make himself faster. But some of the plot threads, without spoiling it, it is a good story. And I don't want to spoil everything in it. It's worth picking up in the trade. I think the story is pretty good. And in fact, in the tent, in one of these books, we've got the first part of that story. It's good stuff. And you'll definitely want to read it. If you're not picking up the books, then check out the trades because they are worth checking out. So let's head back to the tent real quick. So finding that these other books were more or less random in the background, I wanted to grab a bunch of these other packs and just see what's in there, to see if there's anything else that, kind of stuck out as being interesting and cool about it. So I'm going to open these packs here and take a look inside and try to find a good spot here where I can cut without doing any damage. It's funny that these cover packs, they left the price off so that, it'll be obvious that these are not normal copies as they go onto the collector's market, as people try to trade them in shops or sell them online or whatever. But they didn't make them as second prints. It appears they made them as special editions to go into this box. So I think that's interesting. I remember books when I was a kid going to the toy stores, and they were reprints, second prints, a lot of old Detective Comics issues and things like that. So, all right. So we have our Superman #1, part of the Rebirth storyline. And is this listed as a special edition? It is Superman #1 special edition. So we've got another special edition, and this is the full first issue, it looks like. So unlike that Suicide Squad one where you only got half the book, if you want to continue the series, you got to rebuy that first issue to get the other half. This one is complete there. So what are the other books? Any chance that the other ones are going to be Rebirth titles? No. We've got a Superman Wonder Woman 13 as part of the New 52. In the New 52, it was Superman and Wonder Woman as a couple. And this is trying to get an idea of where this story is. Ends on a cliffhanger. It does end on the cliffhanger. So you'll have to track that down. Now, this is number 13. It's a direct sales edition. So it's just a standard comic off the rack. First printing. Another one, January 2015, printed in 2014. So there you go. And Justice League 31. Wow. Back when Jeff Johns was writing it. Stories are actually pretty good in these. I don't know if this is the best place to start out trying to read the story, but nonetheless, it's the full issue. You got everything there and the appearance of Doom Patrol at the end. So it's not a bad issue. Although one thing I'm noticing, if you're a collector of comics and you worry about condition, you can kind of see, if I can get the glare to hit it just right, you can see that there's some nicks and bends and folds and stuff like that. So if you're buying these thinking you're going to be a collector, you're getting a deal, you're going to trade them in later down the line. These are reading copies because they're treated like garbage on the newsstand. So there you go with those. All right, let's open the next pack. We'll go to Batman here. And this is Batman #1 from Rebirth. And again, you can see there's no price up in the corner. So this is a special edition. Down here does not say direct sales. You would think it might be a newsstand version, but it's not even a newsstand version because the newsstand version would still have a price printed on it. So this was specially printed for this pack. We got another Six Flags ad in the front, Six Flags in the back. I wonder on some of these ads, we got Trinity, we got Cyborg, just the same house ads for #1, although they did add stuff for Young Animal. So those are a little more recent. We got some toys in there, DC collectibles. So Batman #1, this was a strong #1. The series has not held up that well, but nonetheless, that is a strong #1 to read to get into the story. So what do we have following up? We've got a Batgirl from New 52. I'm wondering if these were returnable, and that's why they have so many of just these random issues. Again, is this the same time period? No. This is August of 2014 that this came out. So this is even older. And then another book in this pack is Gotham by Midnight. So at least it fits the Batman theme. And you do get some Ben Templesmith artwork in this. I've always liked his work. I think he does some really neat artwork. He's got a good style to him. So, I mean, that's kind of cool that you get it. It's a #2, not a #1. So you're, thrown right in the middle. And again, dinked up at the top. They've got some damage there. So not collector's books, but still a decent pack. But that Batgirl, actually, is this before Burnside or after? Because I didn't really care for the whole Burnside storyline, how all of that played out. I don't know. I don't remember because I actually stopped reading it at one point. But Appearance of the Huntress, that's cool. All right. So then let's go to Justice League here for our pack. And again, cutting it open. My son, I love my son, but he's into Marvel more than DC, so I'm not sure what to do with him.
Hey.
I don't know if that's something you could beat out of him or what the deal is. All right, so Justice League Rebirth #1. And again, special edition printed at the same time. It was an okay #1. It was pretty good. Again, it doesn't hold up that well overall. Now, this is the Rebirth special. So this was not the actual Justice League #1 of the ongoing. This was to set up, to introduce you to the characters, let you know what's going on. So this is a good one to get started with. That's actually a really good choice. Now, we've got Green Lantern Lost Army #1. And that's fine. This one's actually more recent. This is August 2015, it says. So that's actually not that old. And it's a #1 of the limited series. I think this went 6 issues. So there was Edge of Oblivion and Lost Army that told you about what was going on with the Green Lantern Corps. I think Lost Army was, no, Edge of Oblivion was first and then Lost Army. So this is a closer to the modern era. It's pretty good. And then our final book, we've got the Superman Futures and New 52 non-3D edition, the standard edition one-shot. Again, another old book from a storyline that doesn't really even matter. November of 2014 on that one. So just another random book. These may have been returnable, actually. Comic shops with these, I remember there was a big deal with these covers because they had the 3D lenticular animation, and they couldn't keep up with demand when they printed them. So they printed a whole bunch of extra of these 2D covers, and I actually wonder if the 2D covers were returned maybe, and that's where this comes from. Now, apparently we have another question from out there. Speak real loud.
So, Luke Lengick says again, who is the Green Lantern with the luchador mask? This is all new to me. Wait, there's a Girl Lantern too? Help me.
Okay. All right. So for those of you, if you didn't hear it, he wants to know who these two Green Lanterns are in the back. Now, this is actually Power Ring. She was the evil Green Lantern of the alternate universe where they had Ultraman and Superwoman and Owlman, and basically all the DC heroes were reimagined as bad guys. And she actually got the Power Ring. The original Power Ring who came over from that universe died, and she inhabited that, or she was given the ring, so that she could, continue on. And it's basically the opposite of the Green Lantern. Green Lantern ring, you become a Green Lantern because you can overcome fear. This one takes over you, makes you fearful. And so she's fighting against it. It's part of the ongoing story with her is that she's fighting against that fear, turning Power Ring into a Green Lantern ring, and then trying to wield its special abilities. Now, this guy with the mask, unfortunately, that's not a luchador mask. It kind of looks like it, but it's not. He's one of the most unfortunate creations in the new 52 DC universe, and he is stuck around. Basically, he was a Middle Eastern guy. All his friends were terrorists. They were in part of some like terrorist sleeper cell thing, and they got him to be an unwitting accomplice. He found out that they were planning to kill a bunch of people with a truck bomb, and so he drove it away, trying to get away, and ended up getting a Green Lantern ring and saving the lives of people, and it made him into a Green Lantern. But because he was Middle Eastern and all his friends were terrorists, the government thought that maybe he was a terrorist, and of course he held that against them. Like, how dare you think I'm a terrorist, even though all my friends are, and I've been with them my entire life. And so his mask is actually, I forget the term, I think it's a balaclava? I don't remember. But basically a ski mask. It's a terrorist mask is what it is. And he also carries a gun. He keeps a pistol in a holster on his side, and he uses that. I don't know if you can see it. You can kind of see it in this panel here. He's got a gun in the holster there, and he carries the gun. So basically, in order to prove that he's not a terrorist, he wears a terrorist mask and carries a gun. Like I said, an unfortunate version, because honestly, if that was a lucha mask, I think I'd be really happy with that character. All right, so our final pack, the Flash here. Open this up. Now, this Flash storyline, as we talked about a few minutes ago with the live question, I like this Flash storyline in Rebirth. I think it's actually gone pretty well. And this is the first issue, -- 1 of the ongoing story, and there's Godspeed there in the background. You can see Kid Flash, you can see Iris, you can see Captain Cold. The artwork, I really like the artwork in this book. I can never mention this guy's name, D. Giacomunico, something along those lines. But I really like his style. If you remember Eon Flux on Liquid Television on MTV, it actually has a little bit of that look to it. And I just think it looks really cool. But again, special edition, printed at the beginning of September. So now, okay, wait, hold on. I'll get to the other question here in just a second. So you've got a Flash book. So what are the odds you're going to get 2 more Flash books in this pack? Well, no. You've got Green Lantern, New Guardians, Future's End. So another Future's End book. I'm betting that there's a warehouse that's still full of Future's End books that they're trying to dump out there. So this is a good way to liquidate them, get rid of them. Again, Future's End, if you're not familiar with Future's End, it was a story set 5 years in the future. Brother I had taken over planet Earth, and so they were just showing what it could have been like even further in the future. and none of these stories come true. None of them even matter. It was just kind of one of those, hey, what if we traveled in the future and saw things? But of course, none of it held up. So then the other book, is it a Flash book? No, you get Supergirl number 40. This is not the current series that's going on. This is May of 2015, it says. So not 2014, but it's still not new. And it's just right in the middle of this storyline. So, oh, it's even before Convergence. There you go. If you read Convergence, it's pre-Convergence. So not the best thing to have in there for a new reader. It's not going to be great for collecting, although these copies do seem to be in better condition than some of the others that I've opened. Okay, so you said there was another question.
Yes. Luke Lenjic would like to ask again, what happened to Hi, H-A-I? I don't know who that is, so I'm leaving that to you.
Hi?
Yeah, H-A-I.
He wants to know what happened to Hi, H-A-I. I'm trying to think, is that an acronym for something? H-A-I. What happened? Well, here, let's try Google. What happened to Hi? H-A-I. Leaguepedia, esports. Okay, DC Comics. Highfish? King Mohai? I don't know, dude. Yeah, ask him what he means by high. I don't know what you mean.
Hal Jordan.
Oh, Hal, H-A-L?
Yeah. I read that as capital I.
Okay.
That's my fault.
Okay. Okay, so it was Hal Jordan. Okay. He's still there. He's still good, actually. There are two Green Lantern books. There's one called Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, and then there's the Green Lanterns. Green Lanterns is the story of Baz and Jessica, who is Power Ring, and those two have their book and shows their dynamic working together. Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps shows the Corps. Actually, if we go back to that Lost Army book, Green Lantern Corps, all of those members got lost in another dimension, and they ended up fighting their way back to our dimension, but they were on the far side of the universe, and they were trying to find their way back home. So they're out in one part of the universe, Hal Jordan's in the other part of the universe, and they're trying to reconnect with each other, and they do with Sinestro right in the middle, and the Sinestro Corps having become the police of the universe. So Hal is still out there. He's got a series. It's actually really good. Then there's the Green Lanterns series, and again, I don't like it. I don't care for the character of Baz, so I don't follow that one very closely. But yeah, Hal Jordan's out there. He's fine. He's great. But because he's been in deep space and doing his stuff, he's not part of the Justice League right now. The other two who are on Earth are the ones protecting and patrolling Earth. Hal is out in space trying to find out what happened to the rest of the Corps, rebuild the Corps, try to stop Sinestro and all of his stuff. So having the two books has allowed them to kind of split off and focus in different ways. And taking Hal off of Earth has created the opportunity to have the other Green Lanterns, Jessica and Baz, be part of Justice League and kind of expand the lore a little bit that way. All right. So, are there any other questions out there?
It does not seem like it.
Okay. All right, then that's going to do it for us today. I want to thank you guys for watching. Again, hopefully the audio works great on this stream because I set up the audio differently through a different piece of software. It should encode fine. 40G wants to thank you guys for watching with us today, and we hope that you've enjoyed watching everything that's been going on this stream. Like I said, I'm going to do more live stuff as time rolls on. Because we've got lots of stuff to cover, more toys, more comics, more great stuff like that. Maybe even do some comic reviews live tomorrow as we go through a bunch of the books, as opposed to, I'll still do the Instagram, the Vines, the short videos, but maybe we'll do a little more in depth in here if I can stay ahead of the curve on getting that stuff done in a timely manner. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.